Stacey, I just want to thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you. And I think we just feel really honored by your presence.
You should, because I'm here. Hello? Yeah, you
And
should.
Here, I totally thought I was actually going to be the problem today.
No.
You're always the second problem, LV.
Yeah.
Just let the record reflect. You're the second problem.
It was
Second
not
problem.
problematic today.
Or second chair.
problem. Second chair. I hold
Second chair.
first.
Yeah,
So-
Stacey is first chair for problems.
Yeah, and that's fine. I lost power beforehand. So, boom, you get what you get. And I'm
Yeah.
here. Hi, guys.
Huh.
Welcome to the A Collective.
The girls are fighting.
The media is already bending.
Where sisterhood meets sad.
Girl, this is funny. This
Oh, I'm putting bloopers in at the end of every episode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another amazing episode of the A Collective. I'm Shannon, and as always, I got my girls with me. Let's go.
I'm LV.
That means
Here
I'm
we go.
Stacey today. Buckle up, bitches.
It's time.
It's time, baby.
Yay.
All right, y'all, let's talk about it. We're going to talk about friendship. So what about your friends? What I want to know, who, without names, of course, we protect the innocent around here. What's the longest friendship you've had? Who's that friend that's like down with you since forever? I'll
Well,
go
I've got
first while they
some.
think.
Okay.
Okay, so my longest friendship, my childhood bestie, because I have two besties. My childhood bestie, we've been down since we were 13. So that's 42 years of friendship. We've been friends for 42 years. So we've done a lot of life together since 13. She's my girl. So we've been at it for a long time.
Okay. So my one friend that passed away, she was a bridesmaid. We had been friends since 5. And then I have some other friends, like, since we were little bitty girls, like family, cousin, kind of families married together. So about 5 as well. So a long time. We've seen a lot of things. And then I have a lot of friends from high school as well. So, that's 20 plus years. And my college friends. So I've got some long-term, like, ride or dies.
Yeah, my
Okay.
oldest friend we've been friends since we were like 3 or 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We don't talk often, but we've always picked right back up. But then like probably my like closest would be high school.
Okay.
Like I have a couple girlfriends still from high school. I have drifted apart from a lot of them. But
Okay.
yeah.
But when you get on the phone with them or you see them, is it like we pick right back up, even if we haven't talked in years?
Yeah.
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 Same here. What about you, Shannon?
So aside from the childhood bestie, I have a few high school classmates that I keep in touch with, and usually we see each other. So like when I went to a funeral,
Another dreaded funeral
when I went to the funeral last month.
with the 2 big clothes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep. That one.
That one, I saw some folks I went to high school with.
Okay.
Because Athens only has 2 high schools. So you went to one or the other. And unless you went to private school. So like my childhood bestie went to private school in Athens. And I probably, out of the high school friends, don't keep in touch as much, but definitely we link up and see each other. Like I saw a few of my high school friends, their parents.
Okay.
Because listen, parents were always around. When we were at each other's houses, mamas and daddies were in effect. College, I probably have that I keep in touch with like that. Maybe 4 or 5 people. About 5 people.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What about line sisters?
A few.
Okay.
A few.
Okay.
Not as
So do you-
many, but we have a group me. So inside that group me, we know kind of what's going on when we experience deaths, when a line sister has died, any of that. That goes on.
Okay.
It goes down in the group me.
Are you guys clicked up with line sisters? So got a clique that are always together? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Same here.
Some are closer than others because it depends on where you are in the line,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
And then as I've like entered the workforce, like I still have I have a few friends from my time at the airline that I keep in touch with, like literally pick up the phone. Hey, checking in. How you doing? But like several I'm connected to via Facebook and social media that like keep in touch and keep up with my life. I keep up with theirs, that kind of thing.
And it's interesting because people say you don't make friends at work, and I disagree because I meet amazing people at work. Now, everybody is not my friend, and there are certain things that I wouldn't tell everybody at work. But I have been blessed to meet some people at work that pretty much at each job that I can pick up the phone and call, and we still touch bases. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Well, yeah, I mean, some of my closest friends I've met at work.
Yeah. And what about social media, bestie?
Oh, I have
like, this is a new thing.
Right. Well, I first experienced that on Twitter.
Did you?
Back in 2020, because I met this group. There are 3 other women, and, you know, we just all connected. All were going through, you know, the stay at home and all that kind of stuff. And we became really, really close. And then I guess it was the following February that we all we spent Valentine's Day together in DC. Because 2 of them live in DC. And what was wild is they live, I don't know, 5 minutes apart and had never met.
They just happened to meet in the social media circle. Yeah. Okay, that's wild.
But so we all spent Valentine's Day together that year. And one lives in New York City. And she and I lived on the same block in New York. Literally cool. Almost across the street from each other.
And never ran into each other until...
I mean, we probably did, but we
didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're still my girls. Like, I still talk to them a lot. But yeah, and then obviously...
I mean...
So, Stacey, do you have any social media friends?
Yes. I'm looking at 2 of them here.
Okay, so aside from us.
Absolutely. A few.
She's like...
A few. I'm like, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to put me on the spot? Yeah, I do. It's people that have, you know, similar ideas. They get my wittiness or smart assness. And I'm like, okay, we're the same. So, you know, I connect with a few people. Now, some people no, but I have met some amazing people. And I think right now in the TikTok world, and knowing everything that's going on, people are having the same reactions. And so it makes you closer, the people that have the same reactions that you do. Like, you'll get an inbox and it's like, oh my God, did you see this happen today? Da, 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 da. And when TikTok was about to go away, I was amazed at the number of people that said, hey, if we lose connection, here's my number. So I was like, that's my friend, new friend.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this. Do you really consider them a friend? What makes a friend? Because is a friend different from like an acquaintance? Because, you know, sometimes there's a line like I think sometimes, and especially I think I've heard parents teach kids like, that's really not your friend, you know, because when kids are younger, it's like my friend hurt my feelings, my friend, instead of saying my classmate or whatever. So as we get older, what kind of distinguishes, I'm always thinking about, is this person really a friend?
Is it a long-term thing?
Are they an acquaintance? Like somebody I'm familiar with that I have a bit of a relationship with, but they're not really my friend.
More acquaintance, because I don't think I'd call them if I was having a crisis. Like, I would pick up the phone and call you guys and be like, oh my God, this is going on. Because I know you all.
Like when I called about the jersey. Y'all are my friends. I knew what I was gonna get when I called. But I was like, I gotta show my girls. Look at this thing. It's a mess.
And how did that go, Shannon, for you?
But I knew it was a mess. I didn't have a choice, though. I knew it was a mess. I didn't have a choice.
We were honest with you. If we were acquaintances, we would have been like, girl, you're good.
But I already knew what I was going to get from y'all.
Yeah.
And it was no, you look a mess. No, you know that's a damn mess.
Exactly as you expected it to.
Yeah.
Did. But
you just wanted to show somebody else, like, look at my friends, how they treat me. That's what you wanted to do. You wanted to air us out.
Podcast with these ladies. Right. Look at how they treat me now. But I knew what I was going to get. But so I'm often wondering, like, okay, what crosses the line into friendship versus just an acquaintance or somebody? Yeah, I talk with them occasionally.
Yeah, you know, I think if I would confide, I think that's my big thing. Like, would I confide in my secrets to them? No, I don't know them.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do it as internet friends and then friends, right? Like, even if I met you on the internet, you have the ability to then be put in like the friend or close friend or best, you know, whatever category. But like, if I like you a lot, but we met on the internet and that's pretty much where it's going to stay, they're an internet friend.
Okay.
And then there are internet acquaintances, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people that like, I maybe have their number or whatever, because at one point, but like, we just ain't that.
Yeah. What about you, Shannon?
I think I'm trying to figure it out.
I know
Right.
it's hard because we put people in a friend bucket and they turn out to be
Not a
trash.
friend. They turn out not to be a friend. And I'm always leery, though, on it. This really is, as it relates to friendships on social media. I think they can be tricky because I think social media sometimes can be an illusion because people show you what they want you to see and what they want you to believe they are versus who
Real
they really
deal,
are.
Holyfield.
They send their representative and not themselves, right?
Like you're dating. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm not dating you. This is the internet.
So, but I like your test, Stacey. Would I confide a secret to that person? If I would, and I trust them with my secrets, then I probably consider them a friend.
Yeah.
And if I don't trust them with any secrets, then they're probably not a friend. They're an acquaintance or somebody I have a relationship with, and we're,
It's surface.
yeah,
It's like,
we're
okay,
talking.
this is what it is. The internet is a tricky place because vanity metrics, you can present however you want to on the internet. And people have mastered this. Like you see people on the internet that you think have their shit together. And they are a hot ass mess in real life.
They don't. Did you see? I forget. It was a preacher on the internet, and it was somebody very, fairly well known. And then they were being invited to speak at another, like at a different preacher's conference. These are women.
Okay.
And let's say the preacher who was inviting was very impressed because of what she saw of this person on social media. And it turned out like the person was halfway homeless. They were, buying things or filming things in different places to pretend like they had things. And then, then there's the influencer that was like stealing from Target or whatever.
Stealing from Target.
Yeah.
That was trying to live up to this aesthetic. And so I think as it relates to friendships, sometimes it's hard to cut through the noise of social media, maybe to see people as they are, or for people to show up as themselves and be really authentic.
I feel like it comes out though, especially if you're a fake person. Like it doesn't take long for the red flags to go off. It's like it's something, especially when you talk to people. And people that talk too much and talk in circles, it's some bullshit. You don't. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You do not talk too much.
I do. It's a
Okay, so you can't
insecurity
have
of mine.
diarrhea of the mouth, but you don't talk in circles. And I think there's
That's
a
true.
difference. You don't talk in circles.
Shannon, I just like how you said that. You can talk too
I-
much. Did you hear that,
Yeah,
LB?
I know. She was like, you have diarrhea of the mouth. It was even worse because now I'm thinking about
just
diarrhea.
rambling. She'll be like, just rambling. And then she continues to ramble for like another 5 minutes. So,
Well,
I
and
mean, in
that's
that
the
instance,
AD.
It's okay.
We haven't figured out the level yet. I think also this kind of, and I think that maybe people don't quite realize it. It does kind of mimic real life though, right? Because sometimes when you meet someone in real life, they are putting up a front as well. And you only see that. And so I almost feel like on social media, it's easier to see it faster than it is in real life.
So I think it depends on where your antennas are up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I believe I'm slower to see it on social media than in real life. Because in real life, I'm watching what you say and I'm watching what you do in real life. So I get to see that and figure it out for myself. On social media, I'm somebody who takes people like at face value. Like whatever you show me, until you show me something different, I'm going to believe it. I'm going to rock with it. The minute you show me something different, my antennas go up and I'll be like, and I'll start like, I'll sit back and watch. And I always sit back and watch, but I probably take people on social media a little bit more at face value and be like, what? She said she was rich. She not rich? Okay, well, it's
But you really don't even care.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
you're wondering, like, how did we even get here? Why did this lie even occur?
exactly.
I probably have my guard up more on the internet now after some of the things that happened on Twitter way back when. Yeah. We discovered that he had been a large account.
Okay.
He was seemingly a do-gooder, a veteran, like all this stuff. And it turned out that he was like a child offender type.
I was about to say it. Was he a
and like
skeezy
a
man?
lot of it, yeah, like there was so much, and he was pocketing the money that he said he was like donating to, like all this stuff. It was really, really bad, and I would have never known it, right? In the beginning. And so like I was one of like his like inner circle, right?
You are a do-gooder with him.
Yeah. I didn't know. But I was one of the people that helped take him down. Hi, James.
Hey, James.
Still not
James,
scared of
what
you.
did you do?
Well, that's
an offline discussion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want to get sued. But yeah, no, still not scared.
Wait till we get done recording, Shannon.
But that's so I probably have my guard up a little bit more on the internet because the internet is weird. So
it's very weird.
If someone starts trying to seemingly to start a friendship with me from the internet, I'm watching a lot of their content to see if I see any red flags.
Right. Have you seen a lot of that in the social media world?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm friendly to everyone, right? Except for maybe MAGA. But
I mean, they're not even worth it, right?
Yeah. But in general, I'm friendly to everyone. But do I truly like everyone? Maybe not, right? You know what I mean? Like,
you tolerate, but they would never be in the friendship circle. Like you would never get to the point where you'd say, I'm going to go spend the weekend with them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's red flags. I don't know if it's like vanity metrics and people gravitate to people because they see that you have a following, or they feel like, in your case, LV, like people gravitate to you because guess what? You put your story out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many new friends did you find after that?
Right. Well, even when I first started, and Shannon and I have had conversations about this, because my first, I don't know, like 10 videos, all were getting like right off the bat, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 views. I don't think I ever hit 10 in the beginning, but like it was, you know, they were flying for some reason.
On personality.
Well, but like, and so I was growing a little faster, and there were certain people that kind of like buddied up to me that already had larger accounts. And, you know, there were a few people that were like, just don't forget me when you blow up because you're going to blow up. And I'm like,
what does
why
that
are we
mean?
talking about this? Like, that's just weird. And so that then anytime anyone ever, especially in the beginning, said to me, well, you're going to blow up. You're going to blow up. Like, just don't forget me. I was like, are you just friends with me because you think I'm going to blow up? And
Absolutely.
You want to ride along?
Well,
joke's on you. Didn't blow up. So
don't say that. Don't say that.
There's still, yeah.
But I think so. If we're talking about, so let's say, for instance, we're talking about the TikTok world. I mean, I do think for any of us that there are creators who, or folks who they trade with us for the following that we have. And I don't even have very many people, but I think there are people who would trade, or, you know, I'm not going to say jealous, but they would switch places or whatever. And the perception is large creator, even though, because, you know, it's sort of like being rich, wealthy, moneyed. It's all about perspective and where you are on that spectrum, where you are. And so I think that depending on where we are in the spectrum, people would be like, I take that. I trade, that kind of thing. And I do think social media, shiny, pretty. And so if you have a large following, if you have a certain type of personality, charisma, zish, the it factor.
Can I just interrupt you? We don't say charisma anymore, apparently. We say Riz.
We say Riz?
Apparently Riz now. They have Riz.
Riz. Is that the same?
I just want us to be hip.
Zish. We used to say zish. I like zish. They have zish.
Kind of like scrumping.
That, for the record, is in the Urban Dictionary.
There we go. Scrumping
is in the Urban Dictionary.
And this is what your friends do.
Because they don't know about scrumping doesn't mean y'all, our audience, doesn't know about scrumping.
I take that as a challenge, right? She's talking about us. I'm like, okay, we don't know what that is. Nope. You made it up, but I digress.
Did not.
You did.
It's in the Urban Dictionary. I don't even have editing rights to the Urban Dictionary.
Okay, good. But whatever.
So it's there.
Next subject.
Clearly, it was just like one of your classmates
that went in and was like, hey, I was scrumping this weekend, and that people wonder what that means, and it meant hunching.
But I think social media, I do think social media can give the false illusion that someone's your friend, or you will have people seeking to befriend you for maybe the wrong reasons, maybe not out of the purest of intentions.
Absolutely.
There are also just like a lot of bunny boilers on the internet.
What's a bunny?
I think I know what you're meaning. Some nutcases. Is that
Yeah.
what we're talking about? Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Oh,
Honey roasted nutbags.
they get to live out these crazy dreams on the internet.
It's single white female, like bunny boilers. Like
Absolutely.
you're gonna try to get close to that person because you basically want to be them.
That is so
Mhm.
crazy.
And there are
I
a lot
can't
of
be
them
any-
out there.
I can't be anybody but Nutty Stacy.
Nope. And that's the thing. Like that's why I've never like fronted. You see the backgrounds that are not necessarily organized and clean, and it just is what it is because
Right.
that's truly who I am. And if
Mhm.
you don't like it, go on. Maybe find someone that's more organized because that's not going to be me.
Very interesting. And I think that I've probably had my share of people that I thought were friends that turned out to be, duds. And that's fine. I don't hate you because of it. But I know you don't get to be in that special category of Stacy's friend.
Disappointed by people that I thought that, you think are friends and it turns out they aren't. It's just disappointing. That's all.
And at this big age, why? You know?
Yeah. I'm at the age and I guess stage in life that if I have an issue with someone, I'm going to take it to them. Because if you're my friend, can we interact like if you're really my friend? Can we interact and know that whatever I have to say is coming from a place of love, or whatever you may say is coming from a place of love? And then we sit down and resolve it. That's just me. And y'all know I'm a church girly. I'm very churchy. And the word says if you have an alt with someone, you're supposed to take that alt to them. You take your alt to your brother and you work it out. You work it out. You can talk one-on-one. But I'm not sure that we're also, this is for friendships, but also just it speaks to where we are as a country. People who disagree, I think, are not able necessarily to talk it out because everybody's very strong in their position and you're not going to change my mind.
I also think that, all of us are over 40 and you would think you know how to be a friend, but some people do not know how to be a friend. They don't know what that looks like. The landscape of friendship. What is that? And it's not, my friends and I have disagreed about things before. And you know what? Okay, we'll come back. We might not talk for a while. Doesn't mean I love you. And nobody else in the street is going to talk about you either because you are my friend.
Fight you back.
Exactly. But when we do come back together, when emotions are kind of down, we can talk through it and no love is lost. We're still friends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What I'm seeing here in social media, people don't know how to resolve issues. And that's why they have these mean girl attitudes. There's a lot of jealousy around, perceptions and just weird stuff. People have not been a friend to anyone else, so they wouldn't know how to be a friend to someone else.
And I think that's something, I don't know, LV, I've taken that for granted because I think I go into situations assuming people know how to be friends. But I also remember, like, probably in my 20s and 30s, there were a few people I met along the way who often said, as we kind of became friends, that they had never had any female friends. All their friends were men because they did not get along with other women.
That's a red flag to me.
Which tells me that's a whole other issue because you don't know how to interact with other women other than maybe in an adversarial, jealousy, envious kind of way.
Sometimes that screams whore to me.
So sure it does. I think, so for me, this is my perception. I think a lot of it maybe has to do with environment that you grew up in. I think we tend to find that women who don't have friendships with other women were hurt at some point earlier in life by a woman and wounded deeply to their core, and they never dealt with that trauma and didn't heal from it. So the easiest thing to do is, I don't do women. Women are catty, women are this. So I don't fool with women. My friends are men.
When I've seen this a lot of times, it's, well, women are jealous of me. Girl, nobody's jealous of you.
Nobody's jealous of you.
Ain't nobody jealous of you. So it's your thing to say I'm friends with a guy so I can sneakily do things.
Oh.
So I always call that.
Yeah. It's so,
okay.
oh my God.
So now this
That sounds
brings up
so
a question,
awful.
though.
No, there's this girl on Twitter who she's just trash. And she always is like, this is why I don't get along with girls. I get along with boys. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, and she's done a bunch of shady ass awful shit. But
She just didn't know how to be a friend.
yeah, all of a sudden I was like, I know someone exactly like that.
And you know what? Friendships with men are pretty surface and they're easy. Like men, okay, well, that's my girl. I don't see anything wrong with it. Women are digging into things like, no, why did you fall out with her?
Yeah. Like, now what happened?
Some questions.
Yeah,
Right?
and we're trying to figure it out. And if a woman says that to us, red flags are going off, right?
Mhm.
I've already probably like, something wrong with her.
Mhm.
But men will accept that and think nothing of it. Well, no, she told me that, such and such was acting funny with her.
Mhm.
So it's all women.
Well, and it's also, I think another one, and this is also stemming from this woman that I'm thinking of, is when they constantly seem to have trouble with people.
Yes.
And it's like, well, they did this to me and they did this to me. And it's like,
They're
yeah,
always
but
the
what are
victim.
you doing to cause that?
Yeah.
Because, and I'll be very honest, like early on, I had trauma from my mother. We've already talked a little bit about that. And so I did have a lot of issues keeping and making friends, right? But I dealt with those in therapy. And so now I'm a different person than I was back then, right? And so when you look at, I have those handful of relationships still because they started prior to all of that trauma. But now that I've dealt with it more, I have friends that are longtime friends since, right? And I always think it's interesting because like when we have these kind of conversations, I'm like, no, I know because I've been on the other side where I maybe wasn't the best friend and didn't know how to say that. And now I think it's important. There are times when you have to say, I can't be the best friend at this moment. I'm dealing with a
Right. And
My
that's
own
fair.
stuff.
And a friend will understand that. But I think about going back to what we have summarized as being whores that can't get along with women.
We'll just call them whores.
Yeah. It's like
You might not actually be a physical whore, but right now, sorry.
you seem like it.
Yeah.
Because you're going and you're gravitating to men that aren't going to hold you accountable. They just take it surface level. I don't know how many times that we've had conversations in my house where it's obvious that there's a bigger issue. And I hear, well, no, such and such did this to them. When did that happen before? Well, that other person, they did that to them too. And they're constantly the victim. And then you have to say, okay, do you see what the common denominator is here? And then you have to sit back and think. And it's like, oh, shit, I didn't see that. But I don't think men really dig into it like women do. So it's easier to have that friendship.
Sometimes they do, because I believe sometimes men can spot some BS a mile away. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Not all the time. But sometimes they can peep game quicker and better than a woman. And then sometimes their dingy is all get out and they can't. And you have to say, did you see that? You do know so and so and so and so and so and so and so.
And I'm like, oh.
No, I didn't realize that.
Oh, okay.
Why you ain't paying attention?
Because they don't. They just do not. A lot of them don't pay attention well. So I don't know. And I think men, they do a good job of like separating people in their lives. So I know when we were planning wedding, it was like, no, these are my boys. Those are my friends. They've been with me, ride or die. These are who I want in the wedding. Other people that I would have thought that would have fallen into that category. Oh, I mean, we cool, but not like that. And then you have your acquaintances that you go out and you might have a drink, you go smoke a cigar with, but you definitely wouldn't confide in them. So they do a better job, I think, at us. We kind of sit here and like, hey, is she really my friend? I don't know. Where should I put her? Should I categorize her? I think men just are kind of cut and dry and easy. They don't pay attention to deep.
My friends.
Do you?
Yeah, like
do you do it early on?
Well, it depends on like I've got, a bunch of sorority friends, some like bit more personal friends that really, really know me. Some of them happen to be sorority sisters, so some of that overlaps. Yeah. But then I've got this whole subset of TikTok friends, and there are a few people, on TikTok that I really consider friends. Then I've got my flight attendant friends, and a bunch of that hasn't overlapped. Every subset of that knows about my childhood best friend. Probably the people who know the least about my childhood best friend are my TikTok friends.
Yeah.
But other than that, all the other friend groups know about my childhood friend, and my childhood friend knows about all the other subset friend groups, but a lot of them do not overlap. And perceptions of me are probably different.
Okay. Based on the relationship you have with them, which is fair.
And kind of the context, in which they see me.
Okay, that's fair.
I've always been one of those people that's had a lot of different, like, I don't feel like I've ever truly, outside of like in the sorority when I was in college, because that was just kind of like an automatic group of friends. And in high school, I had a group, there were like 5 of us, right? But as an adult, I've watched a lot of these women that have these like groups of friends, right? And like their husbands are friends and they go to these big dinners together and they take turns having parties, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, even when I was married, I didn't really have that outside of like the salon. We would do things together, whatever, like that. But I've always been one of those people that's like, well, this is a friend that I share this interest with, and this is a friend that I share that interest with. And so whenever I would have parties, it was always really hard because a lot of them maybe knew kind of the same thing, like knew about each other, but like didn't necessarily really know each other. And so it's been weird. But I've always wanted to be one of those people that like has like a group, although groups also scare me. Because there's more, like there's drama. You know what I mean? Like I have friends that have that. Right. And there's always drama.
I have different groups of friends, which is interesting because I have, from everywhere. So my high school friends may not have gone to college with me to know my college friends. Then we have our married couple friends that I may have known the wife because we were at school together. And then just so happened they married, my husband's good friend. And so we have this huge friend group. But when I get everybody in the same room, if we're doing something, say for a birthday, no, I want everybody to be able to talk if I'm not here. If that's my friend, you should trust. You guys are my friends. Hey, we're all friends. We don't have a lot of drama. That is a blessing. That is a blessing, a blessing, a blessing. And I think it's maybe because of age and then the people that I am, around. But
I think it's the people.
It might be. But it's like we want everybody to get along. We have had some anomalies here and there, but nothing that you have a knockdown drag out. Like, I feel like at this age, we shouldn't be falling out with people.
Yeah. Well, it's more just like this one's mad at that one. And I'm just like, I mean,
we can't
I've
talk
always
it
been
out.
one. But I've always been one I like to watch the mess. I just don't want to be involved in the mess.
Mm-hmm. I have no
So-
problem with it. And it's just like, okay, you did this. This offended me.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And if you are in your feelings, then we're still going to be together at these functions. I'm going to speak and I'm going to move on.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
But I really feel like at our age, we should be able to talk to people.
Yeah.
We should.
I mean, let me say this, if we value them being in our lives and we value that friendship, if you don't, then to hell with it, move on. All
yeah,
right.
because some of these things are transactional too.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm saying like watching, and it might also just be 30, 40 something year old white women. They're just messier
No.
and can't because, but keep in mind a lot, even still at our age, like a lot of these women really just want to be housewives. I mean, I realize that now we have this dream, Shannon and I, that,
I was about to say.
yeah, but this is kind of, it's almost like they like have watched too many Real Housewives. So they think they just need to be kind of catty like this.
They want to recreate Bravo.
I think, I don't
Scenes.
know,
No, ma'am.
but I'm just like, I
mean, drama does thrive and sell, but I don't really want it at my footsteps.
yeah, I mean,
I don't want to deal with that. And if you create that, just go somewhere else.
I also think it's interesting, and I'm not going to name names to protect, but when you lose a bunch of weight and then you move to a new neighborhood that maybe has groups of women like that, and they don't know past you, they only know skinny, current you. And, they're suddenly very welcoming. And then you're thinking, would they have been this welcoming
No.
back in, 100 and some pounds ago?
And that's not a friendship I would want.
Right. And it's interesting because that's a whole nother factor.
Yeah.
Looking for acceptance.
Or being accepted without necessarily looking for it, but then wondering
Always second guessing yourself.
whether
That's wild business.
this is why I don't try to make new friends.
Well, I do. I think about that. I was going to bring that up. Do we feel like, Drake said no new friends? And I always say that. But I'm always finding new people.
Yeah, I'm always picking up new friends, even though I'm a person at this age. Yeah, no new friends. I don't need no new friends.
And then they stumble in your lap.
Baby. And then they're like, yeah, hi, LV. And then I would give some other shout outs, but I won't do that. But then there's some others who I'm like, man, they're like a true blue friend.
Mm-hmm.
They're friends. So then I'm like, I thought we were at no new friends.
No.
Then what happened?
I mean, yeah.
It sounds good to say.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like you're thugging it out and hey, I don't care, but get out of here. If I meet cool people, I meet cool people.
Yeah. I mean, it's not every day that you meet a lily white, freaking feral hot mess, single mom that lives in the middle of fucking nowhere. And, you know, it's a really good time. You can't say no to that.
You just can't.
You can't.
No.
Can't turn your back on it.
You got to have LV.
I'm gonna burp.
Yeah. But so I have a question. What makes us fall out with friends? What are the like grounds to say, you know what? I'm done with you.
Oddly enough, to me, it's lying, considering the fact that that was one of the issues that I had way back when, because I wanted people to accept me because of all the trauma that my mom, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm probably like an overly honest person, right? And so, but if you continue to, you know, I will give you a second chance because I know what it felt like to not get a second chance. So you will get a second chance, but you don't get a third, right? If I notice a pattern of you not being honest with me,
Okay.
it's time.
No. Like I had a high school friend who I thought was really my best friend, and we fell out over a guy. And let me tell you though, and this is a lesson learned. And so this has informed me as I've gotten older and grown. We fell out. I was trying to tell her that her boyfriend was cheating on her.
Okay.
She didn't believe me. She believed the boyfriend. He was a lying piece of shit. Well, of course, she ended up breaking up with him because she found out he was lying and a cheat.
He was a lying piece of shit.
Yeah. But like our friendship was forever crashed because of that. And I never forgot that. So like, unless you're my childhood bestie or my airline bestie, keeping my mouth closed. I'm minding the business that pays me. Because, you know, a lot of times grown women don't want to believe you, even though intuition has told them that their man ain't right. But yeah, so like that was a hard lesson. I was very upset about that as a teenager because it happened. I think I was a sophomore, so I was about 15. And I lost the person that was my best friend. I see her now at high school reunions and it's a surface, you know, hey, how you doing? Oh, you look great. Glad, you know, that kind of thing. But other than that, because it was hard. I mean, and that was somebody I probably spoke to once, twice, 3, 4 times a day.
Yeah, I had the same, but it was her husband.
Oof.
And I heard, and it was so weird. I was in the hair salon, minding my business. This girl that I knew was telling me about her new boyfriend, showed a picture, and I had been at these people's wedding. And I was like, oh my God. Like, talk to the wife pretty frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my stylist, and he was like, leave that shit alone. Leave that shit alone. And I was like, no, but I want somebody to tell me. He was like, Stacey, don't do it. I did it. And I think she was upset for a while. But of course, I've noticed that women always go back and tell. Stacey told me about this. It fell in my lap, but we don't hardly talk at all now. And I think they're still together, which, hey, to each its own. You're holding up your marital vows. You're doing your thing. But I want somebody to tell me. I definitely would want somebody to tell me, especially if it's a friend. You should know that it's not malicious.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend is not coming, you know, out of line to tell you these things.
Yeah.
When I talked to my stylist about it, he was like, no, I wouldn't tell you. He said, because I wouldn't have to tell you. Your husband would tell you that I saw him doing something. He would be so embarrassed because I'm going to walk up to him and let him know, I see you. I see you. And he said he would probably be so embarrassed and he would want to tell you before I did.
I mean, I've been the woman that's been told that her husband was cheating on her, right? And it's funny because I guess I am a better friend than I really ever realized.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be like, but I didn't get mad
You did
at the
pat
friend.
yourself on the back.
But I didn't get mad at the person who told me. I didn't even get mad at the other women. I got mad at him.
Wait, did you say women?
Oh yeah, there were multiple. There were a lot. There was only one that I truly was angry with, and it was because she knew because she worked at the gas station right outside our neighborhood.
No, wait a minute. Not the gas station attendant. Not
Yeah.
Susie.
Well,
I
she
want
worked
10
in-
on pump 1.
Well, no, like, because it was like it had like a little market in it. And
That's not making it sound any better.
no, I know. Yeah. But well, I mean, some other time we'll go into all of that. But like, I was going in there pretty much every day, especially first trimester, to get a vanilla milkshake because it was the only thing that would help my nausea while I was pregnant. And he would come in with me. Like, she knew I was pregnant with his child and we were married. So yeah, I was mad at. The rest of them, like, they didn't know.
I have questions. Did you want to jump on her ass? Did you go in there and get a milkshake and throw it? I would have. I would have wasted my
Stacey
money.
would have thrown the milkshake.
Baby, I would have went in there and got it all grinning, let her ring me up and right in her face.
Mm-hmm.
And then
But
cried.
is it really worth it? Is that kind of stuff
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't think so.
I mean, there were a lot of things that I wanted to do to her, but I mean, life was kind of clearly doing it for me because she worked at a little market
The
in
quick
the middle
mark.
of nowhere.
Pump 10.
Yeah. And if she thought any of the money was his, yeah. But it is, I mean, I totally know what you mean. Like, it's scary to tell someone something like that. But I do believe, like, if you're truly friends with them, they're going to know that you meant.
They would know and they would appreciate you telling because nobody wants your friend to look crazy.
Like, I still appreciate the people who told me.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to look crazy. Like, I'm over here like, my husband, my man.
Yeah, I looked crazy for long enough. Like, I was like, okay, yeah.
Don't you think that takes a certain level of maturity?
Yeah.
I don't know, acceptance. I can't quite put my finger on it because this happens all across America every day, and people do not believe the friend that's coming to share that, hey, I saw your man out in these streets. Or I know for a fact, because I believe most people would wait until they had like very, very solid proof and they knew without a doubt that your husband was cheating on you, as opposed to being spiteful, looking just to break up your marriage for whatever reason and being like, I saw Ted out here, such and such.
Ted.
So,
Yeah.
Ted.
What were you doing, Ted?
Lying. I mean, but my thoughts,
I'm
like
dead.
when this came to me, it was like, I put myself in her shoes. I would want somebody to let me know. And especially like if this other woman, and clearly she had no idea, right? So the women were innocent and because she wouldn't have showed me this picture. And so I was like, oh, okay. Like, what do you do? It fell in my lap.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt like, okay, God, is that what you want me to do? Do you want me to tell it? And I had to really think about how I said it. I didn't want to be ugly, but yeah, at the end, it is what it is. And I hope that they are doing well.
So I take it you're not friends with her anymore. You don't keep
I haven't
in
talked to
touch?
her in I don't know how long.
Wow.
Well, yeah, because she probably didn't deal with any of it and just swept it under.
Well, it seems like it was a common thing. Like when I did
But
tell her,
you
she
know
knew
that.
about.
Yeah,
Well, she
so
knew.
you can't you break their whole facade.
Yeah. So it's just wild business.
Was she somebody who was a spouse moneyed? So she really felt trapped or needed to stay with him for the money?
She's the moneyed one.
Well, then maybe he was slinging that D on her.
Maybe I ain't met one. They great. And I don't want to meet one. They great.
Apparently some do.
If you get...
You're going to beat this. They get digmatized.
Yeah, and how in the fuck do you get digmatized at this big age?
You not having any on a regular? I mean...
Girl, I don't care.
What? No. Let's be clear. No offense. You can't speak on that, ma'am. LV and I can speak on how you get digmatized at this big age.
Do you not remember, Coach?
Be digmatized to the point that I lose all bearing.
Ma'am, if you're somebody who's been single and not getting it, like they say, you lay up next to yours every night. We don't, ma'am. We don't.
Sorry.
And plenty of other women don't lay up next to theirs. You lay up next to yours every night.
Lay up next to dogs.
I got a pile of clothes, a phone, a computer,
Yeah,
iPad.
she's got a whole office on half of your bed. Yeah.
Like, what's going on? You can't get no dick if you in there with all that shit on the bed. Like, take some of that off. You want to usher in the spirit of a hard dick.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Not conducive at all.
There was what we were like getting ready for bed and she was like, well, I'm gonna crawl into bed now and I probably won't get back out. And I was
And
like,
you were
"But
like, are you
there's-
working?
there's all that stuff on
And
the
she was like, how do you sleep? And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't really move in my sleep. I don't do a ton of moving in my sleep. I'm somebody who, like, I either go from my back to either side.
Yeah.
That's it.
She's basically practicing for the casket when she sleeps.
I don't do all that. I don't need to do all that moving. Do all that moving.
I move.
Oh, yeah, no.
LB said you're practicing for the casket.
Dogs out to bed.
No.
That's a warm body, huh?
Yes. And I'm completely alone.
Shit. Nah, I don't want them warm bodies. No. No, thank you. You can have it. Yeah, you keep doing it. Get somebody else to do it. Good, baby. Find somebody else to do it. Yeah, no.
But yeah,
I
I
just,
just don't want to be
well,
stigmatized like
right.
that.
maybe they have an arrangement and she has a little side piece too.
Yeah, that could be
Maybe.
happening too. And they're okay
Open
with
marriages
their...
are a big thing these days.
And people are going to tell you they're in an
Nope.
open marriage if they think that you
No,
will
they fear
not approve of
judgment.
it. Absolutely. So maybe, but it was interesting. That was one hair appointment that went down for the book. And my stylist was like, that ain't none of your business. Leave that shit alone. Leave that shit alone. And I was like, no, but I would want somebody to tell me. He was like, I wouldn't tell you shit. I would not tell you shit. Would know he better tell you before I do. And he would be scared. And I was like, fair. But I want to tell my friend. Never again.
Well, you can tell me if it ever,
I will.
because obviously I've already been through it once and saved those, I just appreciate it because I don't want to look like a fool.
Yeah, I want to know.
I do that
Exactly.
well enough on my own.
Because I need to know if my picker's off.
Yeah, mine is.
I mean, I've struggled with my picker in a variety of ways.
Your
But,
picker
you
is
know,
highly specific.
my picker is, why, yes, it is. It's highly specific. It's not here for any BS. We don't have time for that. I'm in my speed limit year. So, despite all that happened when I was younger, I learned some valuable lessons. And now, I feel really good about being a good friend and the friendships that I have made now. Because I feel like adulting friendships, especially now, like in my 40s, I'm in my 50s, but like my 40s and 50s, feel like golden age of my friendships because
Absolutely.
it's so different. It's so real, so different, and so authentic now.
Our friendships are centered around different things, like friends that have kids, and we're talking about their kids' events. And I mean, we're at this unlucky stage of life where parents are aging and passing away, and then you have to learn how to be a friend when someone goes through that. So there are more tangible moments with friendships, like not just going out, hanging out, and doing the hood rat shit that you used to do. Now it's like serious stuff, and you know that you're an
Life.
adult. Yeah.
Friends who are getting cancer or have a very close family member going through cancer, just the real adulting, the adult kind of stuff that happens to regular people. It's something.
And I feel like as we get older, we know the kind of friend we can be, the kind of friend we want to be, what we're looking for in friends, so that when we do break that no new friends rule, we know that we kind of know what we're looking for, because not everybody is going to be the same kind of friend. And especially as adults, like, you need to find the right balance, right?
Your people. You got to find your people.
Because there have been plenty of times where, like, I've met someone and been like, oh, I really like them, but they maybe need too much from me, or
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Can't give you that.
yeah. So, and then every so often you meet people that you're just like, God damn it, why do they live so far away? I was talking about Mary, but I guess you too.
I knew
No, I'm
you were
just
talking
kidding.
about Mary, but
no,
Stacey,
she's
I know.
thinking about us. We
Yeah.
know that. Well, I think
was
about,
joking.
too, your friends. I remember when my mom got diagnosed with cancer, and that, like, oh my God, what is going on? I called one of my girlfriends, and she called our other good friend. They were at my house in 45 minutes. We didn't have any words to really talk. Like, if I was crying, okay, well, shit, give me a tissue too. We're going to cry all together. We're going to eat, and then we're going to pray about it, and we're done, But they knew it wasn't, I didn't have to ask anybody to come check on me. They knew. That's what friendship is. Who is there for
somebody
you?
who walks in the door when the chips are down.
Absolutely. And
And
whoop
life is
ass when you
hard.
need to. Let's
Yep.
go on and put that out there. If there's an ass that needs to be whooped because somebody has done something to you, that friend is like, girl, where we going? or
Let
give
me
me
get
your
my
cards. Exactly. Let me get some cards. So if I have to bail you out,
Where y'all stash the bail money at?
absolutely. So Shannon, I'll
Mhm.
make sure my bail is covered when I come visit. Okay.
I have no doubt your bail be covered. Just where is it kept? Where you keep it at?
Well, I think I got an idea.
Look, me be like, well, see, you need to go over here first, and then it's tucked under there. Then there's some more, over
Baby,
across
if we
that
together,
way.
we got, if one has it, the other one has it. Okay.
I'll just be skipping along behind y'all.
We're all going to go together. The whole A collective
go.
is in jail. The A collective went to jail.
Be like, now, why, Stacy? Why are you in jail this time? This time.
I know. I've never been. I don't want to go.
Me
Just
either.
me.
Listen, I don't look good.
So that's just
While orange
just
is
a
a
me
great
thing.
color for me, because FAMU grad, not an orange jumpsuit.
Not a jumpsuit, baby.
Not a jumpsuit.
Well, one thing I did learn is it depends on what state, what county, we might not be in orange. We might be in khaki or stripes or blue. I think even some places do some kind of like pastels.
What would my
Probably
shoes
not for
look
us.
like?
Them little standard issue,
Absolutely not.
flat looking
Those-
khaki ones.
They're like
No,
kids.
and they're not kids, though. They're buddies. So therefore, that is not something that would be on my foot. You remember that guy that you sent today, or was it Chris that sent that?
I think it was
That
Chris.
a little bougie? Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
And saying, this is Stacy all day? No, I will not go there. I will not wear those shoes.
Yeah, well,
Ones in my county wear white with the blue stripe, the dark blue stripe.
I don't know what the women in my county wear.
I'm going to assume the women wear the same thing. I only see the men, and
Maybe.
I see them on like the little work details.
True
Picking up
friends will
trash.
go together.
I think they wear orange here. I'm not really sure, but we have a prison and a jail.
Well, we don't
big
want to go
prison.
visit any of those places, but if we do, we'll have to
No,
go
I've been
together.
there. We don't need to go back.
We don't know anything about that you're past. You don't live there anymore.
Yeah.
So we know about friendships. I'm grateful to have you guys.
I know.
I'm very grateful for you all.
Whoever would have thought, right?
Right?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No.
It was
Close to a
immediate.
year ago.
Yeah. It was immediate, though.
It was.
Like,
I was like, I just want to be friends with them.
and you are.
Love it, love it, love
I know,
it.
now look at it.
Yeah.
Said I love it. Love
I
it, love
know.
it, love it.
I got my sisters. Well, and that's the other thing. Like, whenever people are like, are you going to stay and stay? And I'm like, I don't want to stay here because the people that I connect with the most at this point in my life are people that don't live here. I mean, I have like 2 or 3 friends that live here that I am very close with. But
How close?
I mean, they'd bail me.
Okay, good. They're
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. But only like 2 or 3, the rest are like those peripheral friends that I enjoy, but I'm not calling like I call you guys or whatever,
Mhm.
right?
You have fashion shows. You and Shannon have fashion shows in your
Mhm.
closet.
Don't be jealous.
Miss Maintenance.
I'm getting close though, bitches.
Whatever.
And I
9.
turned that on and I was like,
I love that for you, though. Listen, I'm rooting for everybody. I love that for you. That's
and
amazing.
that's what friends do. They root for everybody.
Yeah.
There's no competition.
Mm-mm.
I did a post showing my loss, and I said in the caption, I said, it's me versus me, baby.
Yep.
Me versus me.
Hell yeah.
And how much further do you have, LP?
The most, like, what, 21 pounds at the most,
Okay.
but probably 10 to 15. We'll just see.
We're in the home stretch. I love it for you.
What about you, Shannon?
And I bought a size 8.
I am, so my MJ progress is 77.
Mm-hmm.
From highest, 97. And I have 53 to go.
Okay.
So
You got
not
it.
long. Not long. I am kind of like close to 2/3 there. I'm
Mhm.
2/3 of the
You're
way.
almost there.
Depending on the rate this year, I could be there by the end of the year. That's
Let's
my
go.
goal would be just to try to get there by the end of this year.
You got it.
We'll see what my body decides it wants to do. We'll see.
And then as your friends, you get to post. We're going to encourage you to post in a swimsuit.
No.
That's what friends do.
And
We'll put
I'll
on
tell
one,
you
too.
why. So like from waist up, swimsuit body, from waist down, no ma'am. I have extreme cellulite looking thighs. Like somebody said in a live once, she said her husband was talking about her, looks like a hailstorm hit my thighs. Her husband said like, look looks like a hailstorm hit your thighs.
That is very ugly, and she should have slapped the shit out of him.
Listen, it was true. And when she said it, I cackled because I was like, that's me too. Me too.
That's
Yeah,
not
I have
nice.
lots of dimples in my thighs and in my peach. And so I'm somebody that in the way my loss is shaping out, I definitely would have to have some work done on my thighs. Like I'd have to have some sort of lower abdominal something or other. I'd have to like show y'all a picture because the way the loss is coming on my inner thighs. So no, I would have to, depending on what I look like when I get to goal, at best, it would have to be some sort of like tankini or like a one piece that has like a little skirt to it.
Okay, well, we can do that.
Something
Well,
like
I'm just
that,
going to put
maybe.
it all out there.
Yeah, I'm not, I mean, you can get whatever you get on these arms, but not my legs. Not my legs look just, like I won't wear short shorts. Like the shorts will have to hit me mid thigh because literally they're just super, super dimply.
No booty short?
Baby. Yeah, I'm wearing booty shorts. No. Well, listen, technically I have a pair that actually I need to post this video because it's kind of spring now. I could not get in them. They were a sample. I could not get in them August, September-ish. I tried them on a live. Like I had on some leggings and I pulled them up and I was like, I couldn't even get them up. And I was like, y'all, look at this. And I didn't clip the live. I did not clip it. I can get in them now. And so I've taken a picture. I haven't taken a video. I took a picture of me in the shorts so I can get in them. I can zip them up. But I have a video that I probably need to drop. And at this point, it may be very noticeable that I probably lost more weight since I shot the video. I have a video saying these are some gold shorts of mine. I want to get in these. Let's see what next summer brings.
You need to post it.
So
Yeah.
I need to get it and drop it. That way it's on record and then come back like June-ish and stitch it and see where I am in June. But I can wear the shorts and they are some, there's some Daisy Dukes. There's some booty shorts. Oh, yeah. Like this company, Giorgio Privani, I think. They sent me 2 pair of jeans and some booty shorts. And Abby in the community bought them and wore them. She was like, oh, I'm getting these. She got them. And I was like, you go on with your bad self, sis. Yeah, I would
Right.
have never bought these in a million years.
Okay.
Yeah, but we may do a little Glorilla. And then I may have to get me some movie money just to make it fun. I said, have a good time with that thing. Or
Right.
get a
Get a gun. Get a money
The
gun.
gun.
Just say
Yeah.
The money gun.
get some
Yeah.
movie money with the money gun.
That's what friends do. Encourage
Baby.
piss poor behavior.
Yeah.
We do it. Let's
Hell.
go all out.
I mean, it would even be funny with Monopoly money. Do you have a Monopoly?
Don't. Just get some movie studio
Yeah.
money. I mean, they sell it on Amazon.
No, I know, but it would just be like with Monopoly money. Where'd you get
Let's
those
do
pink 50s, Grandma?
But yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll
Okay.
work on. That'll be a summer video. But I need to find the video where I say these are my gold shorts.
And you're in.
And go ahead and
Gold
post it. So
Okay. Before we wrap up, this week of politics, we might need to mark that.
I basically kind of have.
But this
Ooh.
week in politics, we had a
Child.
car show at the White House. The
an
president was
illegal
out
car
there.
show. Conflict of
Absolutely
interest
illegal.
car show.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's going to get him a Tesla. A Tesla. They look like Dumb and Dumber sitting in that
Oh my
damn car.
God. Well, and didn't he say, well, I miss driving? What? Bitch, when is the last time you were behind the wheel?
Not with
Yeah,
that
did he-
dead ass hand.
Wondering, did he ever drive?
No.
Did he ever really drive?
No.
I mean, he grew up in New York City, didn't he?
Exactly. Like in New York, most people don't have a need to drive.
Would you want to be in the car with him?
Hell no. Hell to the no.
He'd
To
like
the no,
smell
no,
cheeseburgers and like,
He'd smell like ass. That's what he smells like, his ass.
I'm sure, but I'm just saying, like, he would smell cheeseburgers, not smell
Yeah,
like cheeseburgers.
But he smells like an ass.
Mm.
So he looks like he stinks.
Mhm.
Looks smelly.
Mm.
But yeah, so we had a car show. What else happened? Budget voting today as we're taping now on Friday. So
Mm.
Chuck Schumer said he's not going to vote to shut down the government, and people are not happy with old Chuck. But Chuck got called a Palestinian on the other day. Trump told him he's not a Jew anymore. He's a Palestinian.
Great.
Judge reinstated the the fired probationary workers across 6 agencies. I think that's a win
That's
for
a
those
win.
workers that we get, I think, a few tens of thousands of federal workers back out of the unemployment pool to help our chance.
Right.
But that's a great thing. But then you fired USPS workers this morning.
Yeah.
So it's like the judge
Offset it.
ruling that, yeah, it's like, well, that didn't work, but I'm going to continue with the plan.
Some be even later getting my mail.
Yeah.
Where are these cuts coming from? Because they surely can't come from processing centers or routes.
Because they've been hiring. They were short.
Well, you know, we were all over the national news, and one of our senators, John Ossoff, was really calling to task the U.S. Postmaster because we had a new processing center open, and they, I guess, shut down the other one, and they built this apparently fabulous new one. Mail was 10 days late, 2 weeks late. They were finding mail from Christmas 2023 in like April of last year. Oh, yeah. Go back and Google John Ossoff, U.S. Postmaster. Baby, he had his foot on their neck. In congressional hearings, media, all the things we were having, I was having a lot of mail issues last summer.
Well, it's about to get worse.
Oh, we are so ghetto here. Ghetto.
200%
What are we
tariff
winning?
on booze, and I think on French wine and champagne.
And still talking nonsense.
I think I've got half a case of champagne already stashed.
Yeah. No, my dad literally called me yesterday and was like, if you need any European alcohol, go get it today. And I was like,
when did
the
the tariffs go into
really
place?
drink.
Yesterday or today?
I don't think they are hit yet, but it's coming.
Okay, well, let me go to Total Wines.
Yeah, you better go. Because I was like, well,
So no Dom, no Moet.
no Veuve.
That's what I'm going to go buy.
Yeah, go get some Veuve.
I like Moet. The Nectar Imperialis, baby.
That one right there.
Chef's
That-
kiss, baby. That's my favorite.
Mhm.
That's
That
my
is it.
favorite.
Now, see, my college bestie, she likes the sparkling rosé. They're sparkling pink.
I think I've had their sparkling.
It's good.
No, I think
we drink
have.
it a lot.
I think I have. But yeah, honey, that Nectar Imperial, that is when I closed on my very first house. I popped a bottle. I went and got a bottle cold,
Take it too.
popped it in the center of my empty house, and was basically like, "Cheers to me! I did this thing. I bought a house, bitch."
We did the same. We
I
did
just
the
had
same
to do
except with
that.
sushi
Sure.
and champs, and then a great big wolf spider on my back porch, and I was ready to burn the whole thing down.
Take it down to the studs, huh?
So my favorite is that and pizza. That's actually my favorite meal: champagne and pizza,
Okay.
but particularly that champagne.
Okay, so I'm getting ready to go to Total Wines when we get done and get some liquor. Along with my microphone.
I need to see though if I've got some Crown Peach, because if I don't, I need to get a
You better
bottle.
go.
Well,
I think I've got a couple of bottles
I need
of
to
that.
look to just
Is that
see.
what you like?
So I just try to keep. I like that and the apple to make like a peach or an apple martini or some sort of like putting that with like peach schnapps and just a splash of vodka, little juice, Makes
Sounds
for,
like a good time.
and then putting the crown apple with some apple pucker. Great martini. Great
I
apple
didn't know
martini.
anything about this. So LV, when we get down to
Right?
meet up, I'll
Well, I'd have
bring
to-
something.
I'll have to show you all. Like
We
I
won't
can't
be bringing
move
any
just
French
because of the-
champagne, most likely.
set up. I'll have to show you guys my bar. I have a wine fridge.
So
It's
do I.
full. It's full. And
Okay.
then I still have a case of miscellaneous stuff under a dining room chair. I've got moonshine. I've got all the things.
Okay, so turn up at Shannon. So we've had chaos, political spectrum.
I mean, it literally just gets worse every day.
It
Yeah,
continues to be a poopy show.
That's nice to say.
I'm going to say it the adult way. It's a fucking shit show.
That's it.
Yep.
So, I mean, we didn't talk about a lot this week because I'm sure it'll be more next week.
Well, and that's the beauty. Like, we gotta launch at me later.
Yep. So
Ripping it out.
we are wrapping up the week. Let's
What a
talk
week it's
about
been.
good, bad, and ugly.
Oh my God.
Go ahead. I know what your good is.
I
I can
know.
imagine.
I spent 4 days with my internet now real life bestie, right? We spent 4 days together and we did not try to kill each other.
If you're
think
friends,
she was-
you're not going to.
I think she was like, no more chicken banana. And rightfully so. The song is very annoying and she was in a blow up. costume, and it was worn that day. But no, our kids got along, our dogs got along, we got along with her husband, like everybody, we just had a blast. We had an absolute blast. I really like Indianapolis. I had some really yummy donuts. Like really.
So you would consider a move there?
I would consider moving there.
That's what I was getting from this.
Yeah. Yeah, I really, really liked it. And we had so much fun. And I miss her, but we did. We had a great time. All good things. So that's my good.
Yeah.
Yay.
I got together last night with one of my good friends and we had dinner. It was great. It was the release that I needed. I hadn't seen her in a while. And she's
Yay.
so I'm excited for her.
Fever.
And we started talking about a baby shower and she was like, Stacy, we need to get on it. We need to get on it. She's having a baby.
Yay.
Shannon, what was your good?
I'm getting more organized.
Yay.
One of my goals this year was to be better organized. And because I struggled last year just to keep my head above water. And so it's really happening. I'm getting organized and I'm feeling better about the organization. I don't feel like I'm constantly fighting to stay organized. So I can still do, there's lots of room for improvement, but I'm on it. And I'm on top of some things for once.
Yay. Proud of you.
What about your bad
Yeah.
and ugly? I'm sure that they can all be condensed into one.
Mhm.
I feel like this is
Bad and
where
ugly
it
is
goes.
usually-
Bad and ugly is one.
For me, I still have a ways to go to get organized. I'm not even going to go political this week. I still have a ways to get organized because I want to unpack the rest of my home because there are parts of my home that look like I just moved in. And I've been in my home 2.5 years.
Okay.
Getting better. I'll choose something political next week.
It doesn't have to be.
I mean, obviously,
No.
it's just...
It
the-
stays right here, though.
Yeah. I think bad and ugly for me is like the stock market this week. And I'm thinking about people that have invested a lot of money and potentially have lost a lot of money, you know? And it's like, I've lost some money, but here's the thing. I'm a little bit younger than some of the people that may have lost more, and it might not recover the same way.
But this is why the stock market's a long game, right?
It is. Some people don't play it long, though.
It makes me happy I sold my Tesla stock end of January, I think.
You knew what to do.
Baby, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to go ahead and dump this. We're not supporting this foolishness. I'm not owning none of this foolishness.
You're a Tesla.
And I made a profit. I made a nice, tidy little profit because I think when I purchased a few years ago, it was before they split, had a
Okay.
stock split, like 21, 22,
Okay.
something like that. And I purchased before it split.
Things. We made a profit. There are some people that aren't that lucky, and so I'm thinking about them. But, you know, when money is funny, we start seeing people do some things, and it gets really hairy. So that's been ugly.
Yeah, I just keep wondering how many times he's gonna fucking crash the stock market just to prove that he can. My ugly is probably just the fact that I feel like I don't know what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And because I wasn't paying as much attention. And so then, you know, it's just like trying to play catch up is very difficult in these days and nothing good. It just gets worse and worse every day. So, yay. Thanks, Elon.
Appreciate y'all.
You're
Sure,
great.
we'll have an eventful weekend, you know. They do stuff every weekend.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're talking about a bunch of real estate, like a bunch of federal buildings, you know, closing those down and using a chainsaw instead of a surgical knife.
So
Great.
strategic and thought
Mhm.
through.
Instead of this haphazard, just like, oh, thing.
And you little red hat cult wearing people, this is what you get. Everybody else is suffering too because of your bad decisions.
Yeah. And some of them still
Well,
don't get it.
They're too dense to get it.
God.
They're inbred.
Ma'am,
Huh?
inbred.
Said it.
I mean, they at this point, they're licking straight up dirty ass windows.
They are.
It's not even like clean window licking right now. We are at full on
We're in a
wet
bad
dog
way.
shook right by that window.
Yeah. We're in a
There are
bad
people
way.
still standing 10 toes down.
Yeah.
10 toes down. Go. And they're like, go.
Even though they're
Yes.
suffering. And some of the ones that are standing 10 toes down, they're suffering, but they are going to stand by it
Mm-hmm.
so they won't say, I made a mistake.
Right.
And that's
It
a
still
different
hasn't
kind of
hit
dumb.
some. Still hasn't hit some yet.
It will.
Yeah. Yay.
Sure. This isn't what I voted for.
We did.
Make sure you're doing all the things like follow, subscribe. You can find us everywhere you want to be at the A Collective Pod. Leave us a review.
Comment. Yes.
All the-
I want to see comments.
And
I know.
share. Please share. Share with your family and friends.
That is
Please
the
share.
best way to help us become successful.
Yeah. Shares would be great. And commentary about what you want to hear. Because I'm sure we can talk about it and put our spin on it.
Absolutely.
So, and don't forget, At Me Later coming very, very soon. I'm going to make them.
We're here. We're
Yep.
ready.
Hey.
All right, friends. Well, we'll see you next Thursday.
Sisterhood beats sass.
Bro, this is funny.
Oh, I'm putting bloopers in at the end of every episode to argue their case. What the hell?
What happened to LV?
No. We're still recording though, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But how did we lose her? About the
LV, this
laid-off
one might be
workers
a
being
nightmare
reinstated.
from this time.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm gonna get started on this tonight.
Okay.
Make
My
sure you're
lights
doing all
didn't
the-
go out.
I know. My
We made
internet
it.
went out.
I know. This was a bumpy start today. I was the diva again.
Girl,
A good weenie. I love a weenie.
you are a weenie.
I am a weenie.
I know. I love a good hot dog.
I do too. And it has to be a little burnt.
Yeah.
All you are is striving. Can you strive and do, ma'am? And if you know, you know.
Yes, yes.
You're going to do, strive and do, not just strive.
Okay, look, it's saying it can't get my video.
For me, you're frozen, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
it said you can't get
Now
my
you're back.
video.
but now you're back live.
Hold on, let me go out and come back in.
Okay.
No, I mean, I don't know why it would be freezing.
So just end the recording.